Hey everyone, I hope that everybody is staying on the upside. I'm going to try this little live feed. There's a lot that goes on when you're doing drumming stuff live, and unless you got pretty good equipment, it's hard to do it. But I think I might pull it off with the electric drums. I did put them back as the regular electrics. I had the acoustics, these triggers in it, and I meant to do a little demo on that. We'll pull them out later and do that. But for me, this is easier. I can get it in tighter places if I go set up somewhere and play them. Uh, a good 85 or 95% of the time, if I go anywhere, even out here, this is like a 10 by 10 building. I don't think it's over 12 by 10. I really don't. It's a very small building that I use to record drum stuff in. And even when I use the acoustics, I have to kind of break them up. I usually use one up, one down, a couple of crashes, a ride, and a hi-hat, and that pretty well makes it up. I have been places, if I took my acoustics, all that I was able to set up is a place for the bass drum, maybe a hi-hat crash, a ride, and I've got this little 18-inch crash ride that I would take out to do that before I got the electric ones. I know electrics don't look as cool, but you know where I end up a lot of times is I have played places that it's plumb behind the scenes. In other words, you don't see no drummer or guitar player or anything like that. You just see the main fronted band. And if one must so happen to play a guitar or something that they were up there, but the keyboard players, drummer, and a lot of the other stuff is usually behind the curtain. And I know a couple places here, which is churches, and you're not going to. It don't matter, what they look like in, and then a lot of times even we are pushed back so far that it's you really not going to. Most folk ain't going to pay no attention. Uh, just as long as the mix is good and it's not hurting those uh, people's ears. You know what I mean? So in smaller places, these do work. I had a problem with them. I had the bass drum. What happens? The pizzos. Have I got one of them? No, I actually cleaned it. Yeah, I do have one. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to stand up and get closer. And the piezo is right here, though. And that kind of gives you the ideal of what that is. This is the symbol that I actually was using with my acoustics. That's all there is to it. Is a piezo, a piece of speaker wire, and a jack. That's it, guys. Nothing else. With some tape, with mute rings around the symbol. And honestly, that's what I was using. And that's an old cheap 14-inch hi hat that I had with some D drums. But anyway, those things, the wires will break off of them. You beat the heck out of them all the time, and eventually those wires will break. The triggers in the Alicias actually move. In other words, there's a little movement to those wires, where maybe I know the old Roland's, the piezo or the piezo is stationary with a cone trigger, and they last a little longer. But the Alicia's has foam on the top and bottom if you're doing the toms or the snare. And the cymbals are pretty well stationary, but still yet over a period of time, it just all the jars and stuff, unless I guess you just glue the whole wires down where they can't move. And then if you ever had to service them, that would be impossible. But anyway, I put these back. I set the configuration up just a little different. I done 3 up and 1 down, or I kind of just rolled them. I wished I'd set my camera up back here. I just kind of just rolled them down to the floor tom, and then I set one higher, lower, lower until it flows into the. Let me repeat that. I usually just kind of let them flow down to the floor tom, kind of at an angle, and as you can see, these two are pretty well much the same, but this one drops down, and then the floor tom. And running a 12-inch snare, a DIY. It's 2-trigger, and I meant to show you on the ride how I got it, but that's a DIY ride. It's another 14. It's just painted on top. And people will argue this, and I've even noticed on the new DW E-drums that they have a separate little trigger on top for the bell. If you ever look at those, look closely with the cymbals. It's got like a foam underneath and then another part. And the reason they do that is to cut down on the crossfeed or the cross track. Now, it's a ride. I don't care if the others cut in just a little bit, because if you barely I'm not hearing no crossfeed myself, but I do get a little, even on the snare, because the floor thing is setting close to the bass drum. And I don't know why Alicia's done this, but it's like works backwards. To me, the piezo or the piezo needed to have been turned around, but of course that would put the ceramic side toward the foam, and I guess it just didn't hold up. And then that would have took that away, and then you'd had to hit the head. Now, if you'd had eyeballs back here, you would have seen that this is just hitting the top of the rim of the bass drum. Why am I talking about this? I don't have a clue. But anyway, this thing in the front here, I just put on it when I take it out or shoot these covers. To me, it looks just a little better than a bunch of wires are hanging down and that little low bass thing. And I've got a cover for the bass, but when I put it in it, I get like a double trigger. There's a little ghost note to it. Something sort of like that, but maybe not so bad. So this is the DIY ride. The piezo or the piezo is all on the same thing. I have nothing separate. I did adjust my foam out on the bell just a little bit to where it's not so sensitive, okay? And you can play with the sensitivity in the cross track or the cross feed, which I didn't have to. It's the way factory's got it here. Now, when you look at those with the extra bell, which I had one over there, and I meant to bring it behind here. No, I didn't bring it. But anyway, this is a little drum talk with a little drumming here. I will share maybe some covers I did, or we might just play them live just a little bit. I'm going to just play them around solo a little bit. No particular thing, just to test everything, see if everything's adjusted right. My floor tom, it's cutting through a little more because I'm running it off of the rim of tom 3. And for some reason, when you put that on the main part, it just cuts through a lot. And the floor tom will cut through more, so I don't care if it kind of brightens up a little bit and you hit it. And the ride, I don't care if the ride cuts through just a little more, because when I'm doing acoustics, that's always been the thing, trying to get that thing down to where it blends real good in a certain settings. So if it cuts through this, me personally, how about you? I like to hear my hi-hat and ride. Some people, have you ever heard drums and all you hear is this? You don't hear nothing else because the sound guy or the engineer, for some reason, they cut the bass drum out and the hi-hat and ride. I don't know why that is. Now, don't get me wrong. I like for this snare to cut through just a little bit. When I say cut through, just a little bit higher than everything else. And, but I do like to hear my hi-hat along with the. So I do the ride. Need to cut the tambourine down just a little bit. And that's about right. I think it'll work. But anyways, I set these back up for that purpose because I can get more triggers on this in a smaller place. When I do the acoustics, electric or acoustics, I normally just run one up, one down, a couple of crashes, a ride, and then a hi-hat. I have been in places where there wasn't room for that extra crash, and I've got a smaller one that I use. It's a Crash Ride 18-inch that works great to crash and ride. But anyway, I'm going to try these and see what happens here. Just got them changed back over. Sounds like I'm working to me. So, what did I do in my? This is pretty tough doing a drum thing, recording live, or doing a live. Most of this is live. I do have some recorded clips of covers and things that I will work in. So, it's kind of a mixture. Some recorded and live. At this time, let's see what we can do. It's still live, and then I probably leave you with the thought of just a regular one that I've already done. I'm hesitating. I'm looking at the screen up in front of me, and the music that I had didn't load. I'm going to do one that's kind of safe here. Well, anyway, let's I thought I saved that yesterday. Let's just do something. I'm hitting it and going for it. How's that sound? Hope the sound. there we have it. I never even had that song up. I think I've covered that years ago. You know, it's funny how the years just passed by. I was on my channel the other day. I dropped in and said howdy to some folk that had left a comment on my last video that I done. Oh my goodness, 2 months ago. I'm sorry, I don't get on here much. I'm just now that winters are coming. Perhaps we'll have just a little bit more time. Maybe to do this, maybe to get some better equipment in here eventually or something, you know. I'm going to adjust this out just a little bit. I noticed that, by the way, I just set them back up. I just went around them, beating on them, and I thought everything was pretty well close, but, you know, they's always tweaking. Has anybody ever, like, done a gig or been out playing the drums and you think that you had that, you thought that you had everything, you went before you went on to play, and maybe in rehearsal or something, you think, I nailed that. Then when you actually, I don't know, I honest to God thinks that people come by and moves that stuff just to aggravate you. You think? Because I played it in practice and everything felt right. But boy, when you really get up there and get to playing those things, it's like nothing's right. It's like, who moved my stuff? You know, it could happen, you know. But for some reason, nothing is right when you actually play. And that kind of irritates me, but I've learned over the years, you know, kind of adapt to it because, you know, it's never going to be perfect. I mean, really, have you ever had the perfect setup when you were playing live or, you know, on a gig or doing a show or something? I mean, it's never been right in my opinion. You know, it's like, boy, I wished I'd moved that tom that way just a little bit or brought it back this way a little bit. Have you ever ever been playing and you get the nerve up and say, I'm going to move it anyway? You know, I have. I will try to do one hand, maybe move the, you know, maybe a cymbal or something. You know, the toms are usually stationary. I have grabbed the floor tom and pulled it out or pushed it out or something. And but when these things are just solid mounted, well, not solid mounted, but, you know, mounted there, it's hard to, you know, it takes both hands, what I'm trying to say. But anyway, I'm just rambling on here while looking for something else. Anyway, I had some poison up here, and I don't know where it went. But anyways, if you ain't got it, you ain't got it, right? I'm going to play a little bit of this and then just fade it out and call it one. How many ZZ Top fans you got out there? Me. I love that band, you know, and oh Lord, that 33 Ford coupe that they had. Anybody remember that thing? Well, you're fixing to hear the engine of it here in just a moment. Whenever I get it up here, and I figure live should be alive. And but anyway, I wished I would had a way of bringing it in there. If I was doing the cover, I would have had. That's a beautiful car, even with that 80s look, you know, with them 80s wheels and, you know, how they wore back then. I love that. And in fact, most know by now, I used to restore stuff like that, you know, and I was debating on, I had already done one, I call them fendered car. In other words, they got fenders on the, you know, they ain't just square. I call them fender cars. You know, like the coupes, the old 30s, early 40s sedans, coupes, stuff like that. I always preferred the Coupe, and I was in a process that it looked like I was going to go either a ZZ Top like car. I love the way that grill just kind of slopes. And by the way, when they had the guys to restore it, I think one of the singers actually works on old cars and collects them. But they actually brought that grill back just a little bit more. It put a little bit more tilt on it, and that gave it that awesome look that it had. And then it had some custom done on in that ZZ Top stripe. I mean, come on now, everybody. How many don't have a clue what the heck I'm talking about? Well, if you've never been into that, you probably don't, but there's somebody out there that does. But anyway, while I'm on it, I'm going to tell it because it's bad luck to start something not finish. Oh, Lord, help me. But anyway, I was going to do like a ZZ Top car. I was going to run the torque thrust wheels instead of the Outlaws, whatever them wheels was back in the 80s. I had a 69 Chevelle, had a set of them on it. Set on the back about like that, and the front about like that. You know, it looked like a drag car, even though it might not have been. You can only get so much out of a 300, about. If you got the tune up right, you might have got 425, which back then was awesome power, by the way, for a small block Chevrolet. Nowadays, 1,000, 1,200, you know, that's crazy. You know, that's what happens when you put that boost to it, right? But I was going to do like a 33, 34 Ford or a 32 and kind of do kind of like the Flathead 8 in a coupe or a little pickup truck or something, like maybe a Happy Days thing, and just kind of build that flathead. Now, it's a flathead, and you're only going to get so much power out of it. Nowadays, it would be, you know, your mama's 4-cylinders going to run off and leave it. But back then, and them old flatheads had a very unique sound. It looked like I was going to go in that route because I knew where the engine was and all of that. And I knew where some of the 32 Ford was. But, you know, you could have bought a kit car and done the same thing. And, you know, it would have been cool. That's how we were going to do the 34. But even still yet then, you still need some parts, you know, like some of the grill parts and some of the different parts that came out on that car. But anyway, I thought I'd throw that in there. Let's close this thing out, guys, and get out of here. And, oh, it's getting late. And let's rock on out.
The hammer shot.
Hope everybody enjoyed that. I've done and went and hit another song. Now you play it. Well, anyway, we done ZZ instead of that one, but everybody have a good one. Everybody stay on the upside, and I'll see you on the next one.